The envelope was cream, expensive, the kind my ex-husband Garrett always said we couldn't afford. But this wasn't a bill, or a late notice, or another reminder of how broke I was. It was a wedding invitation. Garrett was getting married to Tessa, the woman he left me for 4 years ago, and he wanted me there, to watch, to witness, to see him finally happy. The note inside said no hard feelings. No hard feelings about the affair, about the divorce, about taking everything and leaving me with $700 a month and a broken life. I stared at that invitation for hours, in my cramped apartment, while my twins were at school, while my coffee went cold, and then I saw the date, June 15th. Our anniversary. He chose our anniversary for his wedding to someone else. That's when I made the decision. I was going to that wedding, but not the way he expected. Not as the poor, broken ex-wife he thought I was. I was going to show him exactly what he threw away. And I had 18 months of secrets to help me do it. My name is Rebecca, and this is the story of how I arrived at my ex-husband's wedding in a billionaire's private jet with our twins and destroyed his perfect day by simply telling the truth. Stay with me, because what happened next, he never saw it coming. The envelope was cream, expensive, the kind Garrett always said they couldn't afford. Rebecca Hartwell stared at it on her kitchen counter. The apartment was quiet, too quiet. Evan and Emma were at school. Her coffee had gone cold an hour ago. She hadn't moved. The invitation sat there like a living thing, mocking her. She picked it up, put it down, picked it up again, lock, unlock, lock. Her phone sat beside it. She could call Diane. She could rip the whole thing into pieces, throw it in the trash, pretend it never arrived. Instead, she opened her laptop. The email was still there, the one from Julian she hadn't answered yet. She looked back at the invitation. Garrett Michael Sullivan and Tessa Marie Brightwell request the honor of your presence at their wedding ceremony. Her hands shook. The heavy cardstock trembled. There was a note inside, handwritten. His handwriting. The same handwriting that used to leave her love notes. The same handwriting that signed the divorce papers 4 years ago. Becca, I know this might be awkward, but I hope you'll come. The kids should see both their parents moving forward. Both of us happy, no hard feelings. Best, Garrett, no hard feelings. She read it 3 times. Each time the words made less sense. No hard feelings about the affair, about the divorce, about taking everything in the settlement while she got $700 a month and weekends with her children. She checked the date again. Had to be sure. June 15th. Her breath caught. June 15th. Their anniversary. The day they got married 12 years ago. The day she wore her grandmother's veil and promised to love him forever. He had chosen their anniversary for his wedding to someone else. The invitation slipped from her fingers. Landed face up on the counter. A memory hit her. 4 years ago, almost to the day, Garrett had come home from work early. She was in the kitchen. The twins were 4 years old. Playing with blocks. Building towers and knocking them down. Laughing. She had been making dinner. Spaghetti, his favorite. He stood in the doorway, loosened his tie, looked at her with eyes that held nothing. We need to talk, he said. Those 4 words changed everything. I want a divorce. No explanation, no warning, no chance to fix whatever was broken. She remembered dropping the wooden spoon. Red sauce splattered on the floor. On her shirt. What? Why? Garrett, what are you talking about? I met someone. Someone who understands me. Someone who gets my ambitions. Someone who isn't this. He gestured vaguely at her. At the kitchen. At their life. Someone younger. Someone prettier. Someone who wasn't exhausted from raising toddlers. Who? She had whispered. Tessa. Her friend, the woman who had been in their wedding party, the woman who came to their vow renewal 3 years earlier. Becca shook her head, pushed the memory away, but the memories came anyway. The divorce proceedings. Garrett's lawyer was a shark in a suit. Becca's lawyer was fresh out of law school. Cheap, the only one she could afford. Garrett kept everything, the house, the savings, the retirement accounts. His lawyer argued that Becca had no career, no income, no assets in her name. She had been a stay-at-home mother. That was her choice. She got $700 a month in child support, weekends with the twins, nothing else. The judge barely looked at her when he made the ruling. Becca opened her eyes. She was still in her kitchen, still holding her cold coffee. 4 years of struggling. 2 jobs that barely covered rent. Food bank visits she hid from the kids. Birthday parties she couldn't afford to throw. 4 years of Garrett's mother, Patricia, calling to say things like, if you had taken better care of yourself, maybe he wouldn't have strayed. 4 years of seeing Evan and Emma every other weekend, of missing bedtimes and school plays and first lost teeth. 4 years of becoming invisible. She picked up her phone, opened her photos, scrolled back. There, her wedding day. She was 27, white dress, flowers in her hair, smiling so wide it must have hurt. She didn't recognize that woman. That woman had dreams. That woman believed in happy endings. That woman was an idiot. Becca set the phone down, looked at the invitation again. No hard feelings. Something hot and sharp twisted in her chest. Her laptop pinged. Another email from Julian. She opened it. Becca, I know you need space. I understand, but I'm here when you're ready. Always, J. Julian. Kind, patient Julian. The man she met 18 months ago when she spilled coffee all over his laptop at a coffee shop. The man who laughed instead of getting angry. The man she didn't know was a billionaire tech mogul until their 5th date when someone recognized him. Julian, who accepted that she needed to keep their relationship private, that her ex-husband couldn't know, that the twins couldn't meet him yet. Julian, who never once complained, who never pushed, who just waited. The doorbell rang. Becca jumped, spilled cold coffee on the counter. She wasn't expecting anyone. She looked through the peephole. A man in a suit stood there, professional, serious, holding a package marked confidential. Her heart hammered. She opened the door. Rebecca Hartwell? He asked. Yes, sign here, please. She signed. He handed her the package, left without another word. Becca closed the door, locked it, stared at the package. Heavy, official looking. No return address. She opened it slowly. Inside were documents, plane tickets, and a handwritten note. You don't have to hide us anymore. Let me be there. Let them see you as I do. You deserve to walk into that room like you own the world. Because you do. Always, Jay. Her vision blurred. Beneath the note were legal papers. She flipped through them, her hands shaking. Financial records, bank statements, asset transfers, all with Garrett's name on them, accounts she didn't know existed, money hidden during the divorce, properties in his mother's name, business deals structured to hide income, evidence, clear, undeniable evidence that he had lied. And at the bottom, a note from someone named Marcus Caldwell, Garrett's business partner. Mrs. Hartwell, I should have spoken up 4 years ago. I was a coward. I documented everything. I'm sorry it took me this long. This is enough to reopen your case. Becca sat down hard on the kitchen floor. The papers spread around her. Julian had been investigating. For how long? Since they met, he had been building a case, quietly, without telling her. Her phone buzzed. A text from Diane. You okay? Haven't heard from you in a few days. Want to grab lunch? Becca stared at the message, at the invitation on the counter, at the evidence scattered on the floor. She typed back, can you come over? Now I need you. 3 dots appeared immediately. On my way, 15 minutes. Becca stood up, gathered the papers, put them back in the package. She made fresh coffee, strong, the way Diane liked it. Then she picked up the invitation one more time. No hard feelings. For the first time in 4 years, Rebecca Hartwell smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. Diane burst through the door 12 minutes later. What happened? Are the kids okay? She stopped, saw Becca's face. What did he do now? Becca handed her the invitation without a word. Diane read it. Once, twice. Her face went from concerned to confused to furious. He invited you to his wedding. On your anniversary. Yes, that absolute... Diane stopped herself, took a breath. Okay. And the note? No hard feelings? Is he actually insane? I think he genuinely believes that. Of course he does. Garrett Sullivan, the man who can do no wrong. Diane tossed the invitation on the counter. Please tell me you're not going. I don't know. Becca, I don't know, Di. I really don't. Diane studied her face. Her sister always could read her. There's something else. What is it? Becca handed her the package. Diane read through it, slowly at first, then faster. Her eyes got wider with each page. Holy hell, he hid all this? During the divorce, apparently. And Julian found it? Julian, your Julian? He's not my Julian. Becca, he's not. We're not. It's complicated. Uncomplicated for me. Becca poured them both coffee, sat down at the small kitchen table, the one that wobbled because one leg was shorter than the others. I met him 18 months ago, at that coffee shop on 7th Street. I spilled coffee on his laptop. You told me this part. He laughed. We talked. He was kind, funny, present in a way Garrett never was. Becca wrapped her hands around her mug. We started seeing each other. Nothing serious at first, just coffee, then dinner. Then I fell for him. And he fell for you. And he fell for me. But I couldn't tell anyone, not you, not the kids, nobody. Because if Garrett found out I was dating someone, especially someone with money, he would go back to court, try to reduce child support, claim I didn't need it anymore. Diane's jaw clenched. That sounds exactly like something he would do. So we kept it secret, completely secret. No social media, no public appearances, just us, in private. And Julian was okay with that. He said he understood, that I needed to protect the twins, that he could wait. Becca's voice cracked slightly. He's been waiting 18 months, Di. And I keep pulling away, keep pushing him back. Because I'm terrified. Of what? Of everything. Of him leaving. Of him realizing I'm not worth it. Of him being like Garrett. She shook her head. I know that's not fair to Julian. He's never given me a reason to doubt him. But I can't help it. Diane reached across the table, took Becca's hand. You're not the problem. You know that, right? Do I? Garrett made you think you were. He spent years tearing you down, making you small, making you think you were lucky he stayed as long as he did. But that was all lies, Becca. All of it. Becca pulled her hand back, stood up, paced to the window. Outside, the world looked normal. People walking dogs, kids riding bikes. He said I wasn't ambitious enough, that I let myself go, that I was boring. He was cheating on you with your friend. His opinion doesn't count. But what if he was right? What if I did let myself go? What if I was boring? Becca turned to face her sister. I was so focused on the twins, on keeping the house perfect, on being the perfect wife. Maybe I forgot to be interesting. Maybe I forgot to be me. Stop it. Stop what? Stop defending him. Stop making excuses. Stop acting like you deserved what he did. I'm not. You are. You're doing it right now. Diane stood, walked over to her. Listen to me. Garrett Sullivan is a liar and a cheat and a fraud, literally. There's evidence right there on that table. He stole from you. He hid assets. He committed a crime. And you're standing here wondering if you weren't pretty enough for him? Becca's eyes burned. She blinked hard. I look at that woman in our wedding photos and I don't know her anymore. I don't know where she went. She's still here. She's just been beaten down for so long, she forgot how to stand up. The tears came then, hot and fast and angry. Diane pulled her into a hug. Becca sobbed into her sister's shoulder. 4 years of held-back grief pouring out. I'm so tired, Di. I'm so tired of struggling, of pretending I'm okay, of acting like I'm fine when I'm drowning. I know. I work 2 jobs and I still can't afford to buy the kids new shoes. I can't take them on vacation. I can't give them anything. You give them love. That's more than Garrett ever gave them. Is it enough? It's everything. They stood there, in the middle of the cramped kitchen, until Becca's tears slowed. Finally, Becca pulled back, wiped her face, laughed weakly. I got snot on your shirt. I have 3 kids. I've had worse on my shirts. They sat back down. Diane refilled their coffee. So what are you going to do? Diane asked. About the invitation? About Julian? about all of this? I don't know. I have two choices, right? I can take this evidence to court, drag Garrett through hell, get what I'm actually owed. Becca paused. Or I can show up at that wedding and let him see what he threw away. Let him see that I'm not broken. Those aren't mutually exclusive. You can do both. Can I? Why not? Take the evidence to your lawyer. File the paperwork. And while that's processing, show up at his wedding on the arm of a billionaire. Show him exactly what he lost. That feels petty. Good, be petty. He deserves petty. He deserves so much worse than petty. Becca laughed, a real laugh this time. It felt strange, rusty. Julian wants to be there. He sent plane tickets for all of us. Wait, plane tickets? Like plural? Private plane. His plane. He wants to fly us there, me and the kids. You too, probably, if you want to come. Diane's eyes went wide. Your boyfriend has a private plane? He's not my boyfriend. Becca. Okay, fine. My boyfriend has a private plane. And you were worried you weren't interesting enough? Girl, you're dating a man with a private plane. You won the interesting lottery. Despite everything, Becca smiled. He wants me to meet the twins. Properly. He says we've been hiding long enough. He's right. What if they hate him? What if they love him? That might be worse. Diane shook her head. You can't protect them from everything. You can't protect yourself from everything. Sometimes you have to take the risk. Becca looked at the invitation again, then at the package of evidence, then at her sister. He invited me because he thinks I'm still broken. He wants Tessa to see me struggling. He wants everyone to see that he upgraded, that he traded up. Then show him he's wrong. How? Show up looking like $1 million, with a man who actually values you, with your kids who adore you. Show up like you own the damn world. Because you do, Becca. You always did. You just forgot for a while. Becca stood, walked to the window again, looked out at the street. Somewhere out there, Garrett was planning his wedding, probably laughing about the invitation he sent. He had no idea what was coming. Okay, Becca said quietly. Okay, what? Okay, I'll do it. I'll go. I'll take Julian. I'll take the kids. And I'll walk into that wedding like I own the place, Diane grinned. That's my sister. But first, I need to do something. What? Becca picked up her phone, opened her messages, found Julian's name. She typed carefully. I'm ready. Let's do this. All of it. No more hiding. She hit send before she could change her mind. The response came back in less than a minute. I was hoping you'd say that. When can I see you? Becca smiled, a real smile this time. Tonight. Come over tonight. It's time you met my sister. And soon, my kids, I'll be there. 7 o'clock. Diane read over her shoulder. Tonight, you're introducing him tonight. No more waiting. No more hiding. If I'm going to do this, I'm doing it all the way. Good. About damn time. They cleaned up the kitchen together, put the evidence away safely, hung the invitation on the fridge with a magnet. A reminder, a challenge. As Diane was leaving, she turned back. Becca, yeah, I'm proud of you. You know that, right? For what? For surviving, for fighting back, for remembering who you are. Diane left. The door clicked shut behind her. Becca stood in her quiet apartment, alone again. But this time the silence felt different. Not empty, not suffocating, purposeful, calm. The invitation was still on the fridge. June 15th, 2 months away. 2 months to prepare, to plan, to transform. 2 months for Garrett to think he won, and then she would show him exactly how wrong he was. I wasn't the problem. I know that now. But back then, I believed every word he said. 7 o'clock came faster than Becca expected. She spent the afternoon cleaning, not because the apartment was dirty, but because when everything felt out of control, cleaning helped. She scrubbed the bathroom, vacuumed the living room, organized the twins' closet, red shirt, blue shirt, red shirt, blue shirt, fold, stack, repeat. The repetitive motion calmed her racing thoughts. At 6:45, she checked herself in the mirror. Jeans, soft sweater, hair down, minimal makeup, normal. She didn't feel normal. Her phone buzzed. Julian, parking now. Be right up. Her heart jumped. She pressed a hand to her chest, breathed. This was Julian. Kind Julian. Patient Julian. There was nothing to be nervous about. The doorbell rang. She opened it. He stood there. Casual clothes, dark jeans, simple shirt. He could have been anyone, except for his eyes, those eyes that saw her. "Hi," he said softly. "Hi." They stood there, awkward, like teenagers. He held up a bottle of wine. "I brought this. I hope that's okay. I wasn't sure what." She pulled him inside, kissed him. Hard. He dropped the wine, caught her, kissed her back. When they finally broke apart, they were both breathing hard. "Hi," she said again. He laughed, that warm, genuine laugh that made her chest ache. "Hi yourself." They retrieved the wine bottle, miraculously unbroken, went to the kitchen. Becca poured them each a glass. Her hands shook slightly. "You're nervous," Julian observed. "Yes. Don't be. It's just me. That's why I'm nervous." He frowned. "I don't understand. Because this is real now. Not just us sneaking around. Not just secret dinners and private moments. This is real. Diane knows. Soon the kids will know. Soon everyone will know. And that scares you. Terrifies me." He set down his wine, took her hands. "Becca, look at me." She did. Those eyes. "I'm not him. I know you're afraid I'll turn into him. That I'll leave. That I'll hurt you, but I won't. I'm not Garrett. You say that now. I'll say it every day for the rest of my life if that's what you need to hear." She wanted to believe him. He said he loved me too. On our wedding day, at our vow renewal, every anniversary. He said all the right words, and then he left anyway. "I know. So how do I trust that you won't do the same?" Julian was quiet for a long moment. Then he said something she didn't expect. "You don't, not yet. Trust isn't given, it's earned, and I haven't earned yours yet, but I will. Every single day, one day at a time, until you believe me." Her throat tightened. "What if that takes years? Then it takes years. What if I'm too broken? What if I can't ever trust anyone again? Then we'll figure that out together." "But you're not broken, Becca. You're hurt. There's a difference." The tears came again. She was so tired of crying. He pulled her into his arms, let her cry into his chest. Didn't try to fix it. Just held her. When she finally pulled back, she laughed weakly. "I'm getting your shirt wet. I have other shirts. This is becoming a pattern. First coffee on your laptop. Now tears on your shirt. I'm destructive. You're perfect. I'm really not. To me, you are." She looked up at him. This man, this kind, patient, impossible man. "You investigated Garrett. You got evidence. You built a whole case without telling me." He had the grace to look embarrassed. "I did. I'm sorry. I should have asked first." "Why didn't you?" "Because I knew you'd tell me not to. That you'd say you didn't want to cause trouble. That you'd protect him even though he doesn't deserve it. So I did it anyway. That's pretty arrogant." "Yes, it is. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. I'm not mad." She paused. "I'm grateful and terrified and confused. He's everything Garrett said I didn't deserve. Successful, generous, and he treats me like I'm the extraordinary one. That terrifies me. Why? Because what if you figure out I'm not? What if you realize Garrett was right, that I'm boring and ordinary and not worth the effort?" Julian cupped her face in his hands. "Becca, listen to me very carefully. You are not boring. You are not ordinary. You survived 4 years of hell and came out the other side still kind, still caring, still fighting for your kids. That's extraordinary. That's heroic. I don't feel heroic. Heroes rarely do." The doorbell rang again. Becca jumped. "That's Diane. Should I hide?" "No, no more hiding, remember?" She let her sister in. Diane took one look at them and grinned. "Am I interrupting?" "Yes," Becca said. "Good. I wanted to meet the mysterious billionaire boyfriend." Julian extended his hand. "Julian Ashford. Nice to meet you." Diane shook it, studied him, then looked at Becca. "Okay, I approve." "You can't approve after 30 seconds. Watch me. He has kind eyes. He made you smile. That's more than Garrett did in 10 years. Approved." Julian laughed. "That's the fastest character assessment I've ever received. I'm efficient." Diane poured herself wine. "So, the wedding, what's the plan?" They sat around Becca's wobbling kitchen table. Planning. I think we should go. All of us, Julian said. Becca, you, the kids. Diane, you too if you want. Oh, I definitely want. Yeah, definitely want. Wouldn't miss this for the world. But we need to be smart about it, Julian continued. Garrett doesn't know about me, about us. So when we show up, it needs to be impactful. Impactful how? Becca asked. Private jet. That's step one. We arrive in style, make a statement before we even walk through the door. Diane grinned. I like how you think, but that's not the main event, Julian said. He pulled out his phone, showed them something. This is... Becca read the screen, her eyes widened. You want to show this to Tessa's family during the wedding? Not during, after. During the reception. Discreetly. Her father deserves to know what he's investing in. Tessa's family is rich, Diane asked. Very, and Garrett's business is failing. He's been embezzling, hiding losses. Her family is about to invest $1 million based on false projections. If we don't say something, they'll lose everything. Becca shook her head slowly. So this isn't about revenge. This is about protecting them. Partly, but mostly it's about the truth. Garrett's been lying to everyone, to you, to Tessa, to her family, to his business partners. Someone needs to stop him. Who else knows? About the evidence? Marcus Caldwell, Garrett's business partner. He's the one who documented everything. He wants to help. He feels guilty for not speaking up during your divorce. I remember Marcus. He always seemed nice, uncomfortable around Garrett sometimes. He was. He is. He wants to make this right. They talked for hours, made plans, revised plans. By the time Diane left, it was past midnight. Julian stood to leave too. Stay, Becca said quietly. He looked at her. Are you sure? No, but stay anyway. He stayed. They lay in her small bed, not touching, just being. Tell me about the first time you saw me, Becca said into the darkness. The coffee shop? Yes. You rushed in, hair everywhere, bag falling off your shoulder. You ordered a large coffee, black, no sugar. The barista said something and you laughed. A real laugh, not polite, just genuine. And I thought, yeah, I want to know that person, the person who laughs like that. Then I spilled coffee all over your laptop. Best coffee spill of my life. She turned to face him. Why me? You could have anyone, models, actresses, CEOs. Why a broke single mom in a coffee shop? Because you're real. Because when I talk to you, I'm not Julian Ashford, billionaire tech mogul. I'm just Julian. Just me. And you like me anyway. I do like you. That's the problem. How is that a problem? Because liking you means trusting you. And trusting you means risking everything. And I don't know if I can survive being broken again. He rolled to face her. Then don't think about forever. Just think about now, right now. Are you okay? Right now, yes. Then that's enough. We'll worry about tomorrow when it comes. She kissed him, soft, gentle, full of promise and fear and hope. When they fell asleep, she dreamed of weddings, of cream-colored invitations, of walking into a room full of people who expected her to be small, and of walking in tall instead. I have a choice. Take the evidence to court and drag him through hell. Or show up at that wedding and let him see what he threw away. Both feel like justice. Neither feels like enough. The next 2 weeks passed in a blur. Becca filed the paperwork, took the evidence to her lawyer, started the process to reopen her divorce case. Her lawyer, a sharp woman named Jennifer Martinez, looked through everything with widening eyes. This is substantial. This is really substantial. Where did you get this? A friend, some friend. This is enough to not only reopen your case, but potentially press criminal charges. Did you want to pursue that? Becca thought about it, about Garrett in handcuffs, in court, in prison. She thought she'd want that. But sitting in Jennifer's office, she realized something. She didn't care what happened to Garrett. Not anymore. She just wanted what was owed to her. Let's start with reopening the case. Get a fair settlement. We can discuss criminal charges later. Jennifer nodded. Smart, one step at a time. How long will this take? Months, maybe a year. These things move slowly, especially when the other party is going to fight. And Garrett will fight. This makes him look bad. Really bad. Good, Jennifer smiled. I like you. Let's destroy him. Becca left the office feeling lighter, stronger. She had taken the first step, the hardest step. Now came the second part. Julian wanted to meet the twins, properly. The thought terrified her. She talked to them carefully, sat them down after dinner one night. They were 8 now, old enough to understand. "Mom, you're making your serious face," Emma said. "Are we in trouble?" "No, baby, no trouble. I just need to talk to you about something." Evan put down his tablet. "Is it about Dad?" "No, well, sort of, but mostly about me." "Okay." They looked concerned. "I have a friend, a good friend, someone I've been seeing for a while, and he wants to meet you, if that's okay." Silence. Then Evan asked the question she'd been dreading. "Is he your boyfriend?" "Because Dad says you'll never find anyone as good as him." The words hit like a slap. Becca kept her face neutral, calm. "Your dad said that?" "Yeah, he said you're too, I don't know, he used words I didn't understand, but he said no one would want to date you." Emma nodded. "He said you didn't take care of yourself. That's why he left. Because you got lazy." Becca's hands clenched in her lap. Under the table, where they couldn't see, she wanted to scream, to rage. Instead, she breathed. "Your dad is wrong. I didn't get lazy. I was taking care of you too. And that was hard work, really hard work. Harder than any job I've ever had." "We know that," Emma said quickly. "We know you work hard. And as for my friend, his name is Julian. He's kind, he's funny, and yes, he's someone special to me. But I need you to know something, someone really important." They waited. "No one will ever replace your dad. He's your father. That doesn't change. But I'm allowed to be happy too. I'm allowed to have someone in my life who cares about me. Is that okay?" Evan looked at Emma, some silent twin communication. Finally, Evan said, "Does he make you smile?" "Yes, real smiles, not the fake ones you do when Dad talks about Tessa." Becca's heart broke. They noticed. Of course they noticed. Real smiles. "Then I guess it's okay." Emma nodded. "When do we meet him? This weekend?" "Saturday. We'll go to the park. Get ice cream. Just hang out. No pressure. If you don't like him, we'll figure it out. But I hope you give him a chance." "Okay," they said together. That night, after they were asleep, Becca called Diane. "He told them I was lazy, that I let myself go, that no one would want me, that absolute—" Diane stopped herself, took a breath. "He said that to his 8-year-old children?" "Apparently." "Becca, you need to document this. Tell your lawyer. This is parental alienation. You could use this, I know." "I will. But right now, I just needed to tell someone. Because if I don't say it out loud, I'm going to scream." "Then scream." "I'll wait." So Becca screamed, into a pillow, loud and long and furious. When she was done, Diane said calmly, "Feel better?" "A little." "Good. Now listen, Julian meeting the kids this weekend is huge. It's the right move. But you need to prepare yourself. For what? For them to love him. Because if they love him and he leaves, it'll break them. It'll break you, so you need to be sure, really sure that he's in this for real. I am sure. Are you? Because 2 weeks ago you were ready to keep hiding forever." Becca was quiet. "I'm terrified. Every single day I wake up expecting him to realize I'm not worth it, that he's made a mistake, that he could do better." Those are Garrett's words in your head, not the truth. How do I tell the difference anymore? By looking at evidence. Has Julian ever made you feel small? No. Has he ever criticized you? Put you down? Made you feel less than? No. Has he pushed you? Rushed you? Demanded things you weren't ready for? No, he's been nothing but patient. Then trust that. Trust the evidence in front of you, not the ghosts in your head. Saturday came too quickly. Becca changed outfits 4 times. Nothing felt right. Finally, she settled on jeans and a soft blue shirt. Simple, comfortable, her. Julian picked them up at 10 in the morning. He drove a normal car, not flashy, just a regular SUV. The twins climbed into the back seat. Suspicious? Guarded. "Hi," Julian said. "Nervous? I'm Julian. It's really nice to meet you both." Silence. Then Emma asked, "How much money do you have?" "Emma!" Becca turned around. "You can't ask people that." "Why not? I want to know." Julian laughed. Real laugh, not uncomfortable. Just amused. That's a fair question. I have more money than I need and less than I want. That's not an answer, Evan pointed out. You're right, it's not. The real answer is complicated. But the simple answer is enough to be comfortable, enough to help people I care about. Not enough to solve every problem in the world, but enough to make a difference. Evan, consider this. Are you trying to buy us? Because Dad's girlfriend does that. She buys us stuff and thinks that makes us like her. I'm not trying to buy you. I'm trying to get to know you. And I hope you'll get to know me. If you don't like me, that's okay. But I hope you'll give me a chance. They went to the park. Not a fancy park, just a regular neighborhood park with swings and slides. Julian pushed Emma on the swings, played basketball with Evan, sat with Becca on a bench, and didn't try to hold her hand in front of them. He was giving them space, time, room to adjust. After an hour, Emma ran over. Julian, can you push me higher? Becca's chest tightened. Emma had called him by name. Not Mom's friend, Julian. At lunch, they got pizza, the kids' favorite place. Nothing special. But they were laughing, talking, acting normal. Evan told Julian about his math class, about how he loved patterns and numbers. Emma told him about her art project, about the dragon she was drawing that could breathe different colored fire depending on its mood. Julian listened, really listened, asked questions, remembered details. When they got back to the apartment, the twins ran inside to play. Julian and Becca stood by his car. They're amazing, he said. They liked you. I liked them. What if they get attached? What if you... He kissed her, cut off her spiraling thoughts. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. I'm all in. Stop waiting for me to leave. I'm trying. Try harder. She laughed, kissed him back. Okay, I'll try harder. That night, after Julian left, Emma climbed into Becca's bed. Mom? Yeah, baby. I like Julian. He's nice. I'm glad. Is he going to be around a lot? Would that be okay? Emma thought about it. Yeah, I think so. He's not trying to be Dad, he's just Julian. That's okay. Becca held her daughter close, breathed in her shampoo smell. Strawberry. I love you, Emmy. Love you too, Mom. Evan came to her the next morning while Emma was watching TV. Mom, can I ask you something? Always. Are you going to marry Julian? I don't know. We haven't talked about that. Why? Because if you do, does that mean we have to call him Dad? No, baby, never. You already have a dad. Julian would just be Julian. An adult who cares about you, but not your dad. Never your dad unless you wanted that. Evan nodded, relieved. Okay, because Dad's kind of mean sometimes. But he's still Dad. I don't want a new one. You don't have to have a new one. But Julian's okay. He actually listened when I talked about math. Dad always zones out. I noticed that. So yeah, he can stick around. Becca hugged him, her serious, thoughtful boy. I love you, Ev. Love you too. 2 weeks later, Garrett called. Becca stared at his name on her phone. She hadn't spoken to him in 6 weeks. He never called unless something was wrong. She answered. Hello? Becca. Hi. Sorry to bother you. His voice. Smooth, confident, fake. What do you need, Garrett? I just wanted to check in. About the wedding. Make sure you're still planning to come. Tessa's been asking. I'm coming. Great, that's great. And I know money's tight. The invitation says formal wear, but if you need to wear something simpler, that's totally fine. No one will judge. Her blood boiled. Slowly, steadily. I'll be appropriately dressed. Of course, I wasn't suggesting. I just meant. I know what you meant, Garrett. Silence on his end. Well, okay then. See you on the 15th. See you then. She hung up, grabbed her phone, texted Diane. He just called to tell me it's okay if I can't afford a nice dress. Diane's response, oh, he's going to regret that. Then she texted Julian. Are you sure about this? About all of it? His response came immediately. I've never been more sure of anything. Even the jet? Especially the jet. She smiled, put her phone down, looked at the calendar, counted the days. 4 weeks until the wedding. 4 weeks until Garrett Sullivan learned the biggest lesson of his life. She did what she always did when overwhelmed. She reorganized the kitchen drawers at midnight. Forks, knives, spoons, order from chaos. 2 weeks before the wedding, everything changed. Becca was at work, her morning job doing data entry from home. Her phone rang. The school. Her heart stopped. School never called unless something was wrong. Ms. Hartwell, this is Principal Morrison. I'm calling about Evan. Is he hurt? No, nothing like that. But we had an incident today at lunch. Could you come in? She was there in 20 minutes. Evan sat in the principal's office. His lip was bleeding. His knuckles were scraped. Another boy sat across from him, crying. What happened? Becca asked. Principal Morrison sighed. There was a fight. Evan hit Tyler. Evan doesn't hit people, I know. That's why I called you instead of suspending him outright. But he did hit Tyler. Hard. Tyler's nose might be broken. Becca looked at her son, her quiet, gentle son who organized his toys by color. Why? She asked him directly. Evan looked at the floor. He said something. What did he say? He said you were a gold digger, that you were dating a rich guy for his money, that everyone knows you're broke and desperate, and you're probably... He stopped. I can't say the rest. It's bad words. The other boy's mother burst into tears. Tyler, why would you say that? Tyler sniffled. Dad said it. Last night. He said Garrett Sullivan's ex-wife was dating some billionaire now, and everyone knows she's just after his money. He said it at dinner. I just repeated it. The room went silent. Becca's vision tunneled. Who's your father? Mark Richardson. He works with Mr. Sullivan. Of course he did. Of course Garrett had told everyone. She knelt in front of Evan, took his face in her hands. You defended me. He was lying about you. I know, but we don't hit people, even when they lie. But no, I know you were angry. I know you wanted to protect me, but violence isn't the answer. Tears filled Evan's eyes. I'm sorry, I know you are. She hugged him, held him tight. But you have to apologize to Tyler and accept whatever punishment Principal Morrison decides. They worked it out. Evan apologized. Tyler apologized. Both boys got detention. In the car, Evan was quiet. How did Dad find out? He finally asked. About Julian? I don't know. I thought we were being careful. Are you mad? At you? No, never at the situation. Very. When they got home, Emma was already there. Diane had picked her up. What happened? Diane asked. Why does Evan look like he went 3 rounds with a boxer? He defended my honor. With his fists. Diane looked at Evan. My man. Don't encourage him. I'm not encouraging violence. I'm commending the sentiment. That night, after the twins were in bed, Becca called Julian. Garrett knows. About us. How? I don't know. But he's telling people I'm a gold digger, that I'm using you for money. Julian was quiet for a moment. Does that bother you, what he's saying? Yes. No, I don't know. It bothers me that Evan got into a fight over it, that people are talking about us, about me. Becca, people are going to talk no matter what. If you're with me, they'll say you're after money. If you're alone, they'll say you're bitter and pathetic. If you date someone poor, they'll say you have no ambition. You can't win, so stop playing their game. It's not that simple. It is exactly that simple. The only opinion that matters is yours and your kids and maybe your sisters. Everyone else can think whatever they want. It doesn't feel like enough. Then what would be enough? She thought about it, really thought about it. I want him to see, not just that I'm with you, but that I'm okay, that I survived, that I'm stronger without him. Then that's what we'll show him. The next day, Garrett called. She let it go to voicemail. Becca, we need to talk. I heard you're seeing someone. I think that's great. Really, I'm happy for you, but I need to know if this is serious. Because if it is, we need to discuss how this affects the kids, and the custody arrangement, and the child support. Call me back. She deleted it, called her lawyer instead. He's fishing, Jennifer said. He wants to know if he can reduce payments now that you're dating someone with money. Can he? Not unless you're married. Dating doesn't change anything legally, but he'll try. Men like Garrett always try. What do I do? Ignore him. Don't engage. Let him stew. And when we go to court with our evidence, we'll bury him. Becca hung up, felt a tiny bit better. Emma came home from school that day with a drawing, a family portrait, her, Evan, Emma, and a tall man with kind eyes. Who's that? Becca asked, even though she knew. Julian. He's part of our family now, right? Do you want him to be? Yeah, he's nice. And he makes you laugh. You don't laugh when Dad's around. That night, Julian came over. brought pizza, played video games with Evan, looked at Emma's art portfolio, every single dragon drawing. You're really talented, he told her seriously. You think so? I know so. Have you ever thought about taking an art class? Like a real one? With a teacher? Mom says they're too expensive. Julian looked at Becca. What if I knew someone? Who teaches art to kids? Who might be willing to take on a student? Julian, you don't have to. I'm not doing it because I have to. I'm doing it because Emma is talented and deserves to develop that talent. Emma's eyes went wide. Really? You do that? If it's okay with your mom. Becca's throat was tight. It's okay with me. Emma threw her arms around Julian's neck. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Over her head, Julian met Becca's eyes. This is real, his look said. Stop waiting for it to fall apart. Later, after the kids were asleep, they sat on the couch. Not touching, just close. You're good with them, Becca said. They're easy to be good with. Evan got in a fight because someone said I was using you. I heard. You're not upset? Why would I be upset? He defended someone he loves. That's admirable. He hit another kid, and he got detention. He learned. That's what matters. Julian shifted to face her. Becca, I need to tell you something. Her stomach dropped. What? I'm all in, completely. With you, with the kids, all of it. I know you're waiting for me to run, but I'm not going to. So you need to decide. Are you all in too, or are we going to keep doing this dance where you push me away every time we get close? I'm scared, I know. What if this doesn't work? What if it does? They sat there, in her small apartment, with her worn furniture and her leaky sink. And Julian looked around like it was a palace. I love this place, he said. It's tiny, and it's falling apart. It's where you built a life, where you raised your kids alone, where you serve. It's incredible, she kissed him, slow, deep, full of fear and hope and possibility. I'm all in, she whispered against his mouth. I'm terrified, but I'm all in. That's all I needed to hear. The phone rang. Garrett again. She ignored it. Julian smiled. Good choice. He's going to keep calling. Let him. You have nothing to say to him. 2 days later, Patricia Sullivan called. Becca almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. Hello, Rebecca. It's Patricia, Garrett's mother. We need to talk. I don't think we have anything to... It's important. Please, I'm asking. Not telling. Please, oh, it is... Something in her voice made Becca pause. Okay. Where? That Italian place on 5th Street. Tomorrow, noon. Please come. She hung up before Becca could argue. Becca stared at her phone. Called Diane. Garrett's mother wants to meet me. That woman who spent 10 years making your life hell? That Patricia? Yes. Why? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. I'm coming with you. You don't have to. I'm coming. Non-negotiable. If she tries something, I'm there. End of discussion. So the next day they went, together. Patricia was already there, sitting in a corner booth. She looked older than Becca remembered. Tired, sad. Thank you for coming, Patricia said as they sat down. What do you want? Diane asked bluntly. Patricia looked at Becca, really looked at her. I owe you an apology, a massive apology, for everything. Becca blinked. What? I was horrible to you, for years. I pushed Garrett toward Tessa. I thought she was better. Wealthier family, better connections. I thought I was helping my son. I was wrong, so wrong. Why are you telling me this? Patricia's hands shook as she reached for her water glass. Because Garrett's business is failing. Has been for 2 years. Tessa's family money is the only thing keeping it afloat. The wedding is essentially a business merger, and he's lying to them about everything. Diane leaned forward. How do you know this? Marcus told me. Garrett's business partner. He's been documenting everything. He feels guilty, wants to make it right. Why now? Becca asked. Patricia met her eyes. Because I watched what my son did to you, and now I'm watching him do it to someone else. And I'm tired, so tired of protecting him from the consequences of his choices. She reached into her purse, pulled out a folder. This is everything, more than what you already have. Bank statements, text messages, emails, proof of every lie he told during your divorce. Becca took the folder, hands shaking. Why are you giving this to me? Because you deserved better. You deserved so much better than what I helped him do to you. And I can't fix the past, but maybe I can help the future. They sat there in that restaurant. The woman who had made Becca feel worthless, Ba was now handing her the keys to justice. I don't know what to say, Becca admitted. Say you'll use it. Say you'll stop him. Say you won't let him do to Tessa what he did to you. Becca looked at Diane. Her sister nodded. I'll use it. All of it. Patricia nodded, stood to leave. Patricia, Becca called. Are you coming to the wedding? I have to. I'm his mother, but I won't be celebrating. She paused. I hope you walk into that room like you own it. Because you do. You always did. You just forgot for a while. She left. Diane and Becca sat in silence. That was unexpected, Diane finally said. I don't even know what that was. Redemption maybe, or guilt, or both. Becca opened the folder, flipped through page after page of evidence. This is everything. This is more than enough. So what are you going to do? Becca closed the folder, looked at her sister. I'm going to that wedding. I'm walking in with Julian and my kids. And I'm going to show everyone exactly who Rebecca Hartwell is now. Hell yes. They high-fived over pasta. For the first time in 4 years, Becca felt like she was winning. He thinks I'm still that woman. The one who apologized for existing. The one who made herself small so he could feel big. That woman is gone. 10 days before the wedding, Garrett called again. This time, Becca answered. Hello, Garrett. Becca, good. I've been trying to reach you. I've been busy. Right. Look, I wanted to talk to you about something, about this guy you're seeing. His name is Julian. Right, Julian. The billionaire tech guy. That Julian. Yes. Silence on his end. She could practically hear him recalculating. How long have you been seeing him? Why does that matter? Because if it's serious, we need to renegotiate the custody arrangement, the support payments, everything. There it was, what she'd been waiting for. We're not renegotiating anything, Garrett. Becca, be reasonable. If you're with someone who has that kind of money, you don't need my support anymore. Actually, legally, I still do. Dating doesn't change anything. We'd have to be married for that. More silence, longer this time. Are you planning to marry him? That's none of your business. It is if it affects my financial obligations. Her blood boiled, slowly, steadily. Your financial obligations. Not your children, not their well-being, your money. That's what you care about. That's not fair, isn't it? You've been trying to reduce payments since the day we divorced. You fought me on everything, every penny, every weekend, because it was never about the kids. It was about control, about winning. I'm getting married in 10 days. Can we not do this now? You called me. You brought this up. So yes, we're doing this now, he sighed. That condescending sigh she remembered so well. Look, I was trying to be civil, but fine, I'll see you at the wedding. Please try to dress appropriately. I know money's tight, but Tessa worked really hard on this wedding. I'd hate for you to embarrass her. She should hang up. She should let it go. Instead, she said, I'll be appropriately dressed. Don't worry about me. Great. And Becca, I know this is hard for you, seeing me move on, but I hope we can be mature about this. For the kids, exactly. They need to see both their parents happy. Moving forward, you're absolutely right. They do need to see that. So we're good? We're perfect. She hung up, sat there in her quiet apartment, shaking with fury. Diane arrived 15 minutes later. Becca hadn't called her, but Diane always knew. What did he say? Becca told her. Every word, every condescending syllable. Diane paced. Back and forth. I want to punch him. I really, really want to punch him. Get in line. How are you this calm? I'm not calm. I'm furious. But I can't show it. Not yet. Not until the wedding. Diane stopped pacing, looked at her sister. You've changed. Do you know that? 2 months ago, you would have apologized to him, would have made excuses. But now you're standing up. He gave me no choice. No, you chose this. You chose to stop letting him control you. That's different. They sat down. Becca made tea. Chamomile. I need to talk to you about something, Becca said. Something I've been thinking about. Okay, this wedding, this whole thing with Julian and the jet and showing up like I own the place. Part of me wonders if I'm doing it for the wrong reasons. What do you mean? Am I doing this to be free? Or am I doing this for revenge? Diane considered. Does it have to be one or the other, doesn't it? I don't think so. I think you can want both. You can want to be free of his control and also want him to see that you're okay, that you survived, that he didn't break you. But what about Tessa? She's collateral damage in all this. She's marrying a liar, a fraud, and we're going to expose him at her wedding. That feels cruel. So don't think of it as exposing him. Think of it as saving her, because that's what you're doing. You're saving her from making the same mistake you did. She might not see it that way. Probably not at first. But eventually, she'll understand. She'll be grateful. Becca sipped her tea. It was still too hot. You were so bright, Diane said suddenly. When you two started dating, you lit up every room. By the end, you were a ghost. I know. Do you? Because you still sound like you think you deserved it. Silence. Say it, Becca. Say you didn't deserve what he did. I didn't deserve what he did. Louder. I didn't deserve what he did. Again. I didn't deserve what he did. She was screaming now, crying. Years of suppressed rage pouring out. Diane held her. Let her scream. Let her cry. Let her break. When Becca finally stopped, her throat was raw. Her face was wet. But she felt lighter. Better, Diane asked. A little. Good. Now get angry. Really angry. Use it. Channel it. Walk into that wedding and show him exactly what he lost. That night, Becca couldn't sleep. She got up. Midnight. The apartment was silent. She started cleaning the kitchen, the bathroom, the living room, baseboards, windows. Behind the fridge, when everything felt out of control, clean something, anything. She scrubbed until her hands hurt, until her back ached, until the sun started to rise. The apartment was spotless. She was exhausted, and she still had 10 days to go. Julian called at 7 in the morning. Did you sleep? How did you know I didn't? Because I know you. What's wrong? Garrett called yesterday. He wants to renegotiate child support because I'm dating you. Of course he does. And he told me to dress appropriately because money's tight and he doesn't want me to embarrass Tessa. Julian was quiet, then, give me his number. What? No, why? Because I'm going to call him and tell him exactly what I think of him. Julian, no. That's not, Becca, he doesn't get to talk to you like that. He doesn't get to make you feel small. Not anymore. This is my fight, mine. I need to handle it. You don't have to handle it alone, I know. But I need to handle it myself. Does that make sense? He sighed. Yes, it makes sense, but I don't like it. You don't have to like it. You just have to trust me. I do trust you. Completely. They talked for another hour. About nothing. About everything. Marcus Caldwell had agreed to help. He would be at the wedding. He would approach Tessa's father during the reception. Show him the evidence. It was risky. It could backfire. But it was the right thing to do. 8 days before the wedding, Patricia called again. Rebecca, I'm sorry to bother you, but I need to tell you something. What? Garrett knows something's wrong. He keeps asking me about money, about the business, about Marcus. He's suspicious. Did you tell him anything? No, of course not. But he's paranoid now. He's watching everything. Everyone. Be careful at the wedding. He's going to be on alert. I'll be careful. Thank you for warning me. Rebecca, one more thing. Yes, I'm proud of you. For standing up, for fighting back, for being stronger than I ever was. She hung up before Becca could respond. 5 days before the wedding, the twins asked about it. Are we really going to Dad's wedding? Emma asked. Yes, why? Because he invited us, and because you should see both your parents happy. Are you happy? Evan asked. I'm working on it. Is Julian coming? Yes, good. I like Julian. Emma nodded. Me too. He doesn't talk to us like we're babies. He talks to us like we're real people. Dad does that sometimes, Evan said loyally. Sometimes, Emma agreed, but Julian does it all the time. Becca's heart ached. Her kids deserve better, but they were resilient, strong, kind. They would be okay. 3 days before the wedding, Becca got the dress. Diane took her shopping. To a store Becca couldn't normally afford. We're doing this right, Diane said. No arguments. The dress was emerald green. The color Garrett always said made her look washed out. She looked stunning. Oh, hell yes, Diane said when Becca walked out of the dressing room. That's the one. It's too expensive. It's perfect. And Julian already paid for it. What? When? Last week. He called me, told me to take you shopping, said to get whatever you wanted. His treat. I can't accept. Yes, you can. Stop fighting it. Let someone take care of you for once. Becca looked at herself in the mirror, at the woman staring back at her. She looked confident, strong, beautiful. She looked like someone who belonged. For the first time in 4 years, she recognized herself. Okay, I'll take it. 2 days before the wedding, Garrett sent a text. Thank you for being mature about this. It means a lot. The kids are lucky to have you as a mom. Becca read it 3 times, then she smiled. She replied, see you Saturday, short, simple, calm. He had no idea what was coming, and that was exactly how she wanted it. I spent so long trying to be enough for him. I never realized I was always enough. He was the one who wasn't. The night before the wedding, Becca couldn't breathe. 2 in the morning, she sat on the bathroom floor, back against the tub, chest tight, panic attack. She recognized it now. She tried to breathe. In for 4, hold for 7, out for 8. It didn't work. Her phone was on the sink. She could call Diane, could call Julian, but this was hers to handle. Her fear, her doubt, her panic. What if this was a mistake? What if showing up at Garrett's wedding with Julian made everything worse? What if the twins got hurt in the crossfire? What if she was using Julian? What if Garrett was right and she was just a gold digger? What if she wasn't strong enough? What if she failed? The thoughts spiraled, faster and faster. She pressed her forehead to her knees, counted. 1, 2, 3, 4. Her phone buzzed. She jumped. A text from Julian. Can't sleep either. Thinking about you, about tomorrow, about how proud I am of you. She stared at the screen. Tears blurred her vision. She typed back with shaking hands. I'm terrified. His response came immediately. I know, but you're not alone. I'm here. Diane's here. The kids are here. You're surrounded by people who love you. What if I'm not ready? You are. You've been ready for years. You just didn't know it. She wanted to believe him. Her phone rang. Julian's name lit up the screen. She answered. Hi, she whispered. Hi. His voice was soft, warm. I heard the panic in your text. Talk to me. I don't know if I can do this. Yes, you can, but what if? No what ifs. Just facts. Fact. You survived 4 years of hell. Fact. You raised 2 incredible kids basically alone. Fact. You rebuilt your life from nothing. Fact. You're the strongest person I know. I don't feel strong because you're human. Humans get scared. But strength isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite it. She was quiet, listening to him breathe on the other end of the line. Tell me something, she finally said. Anything. Why me? Really. Not the coffee shop story, not the surface answer. Why did you choose me? He was quiet for a long moment. Do you want the truth? Always. Because the first time I saw you, you were exhausted, frazzled, clearly overwhelmed. And when the barista made a joke, you laughed anyway. A real laugh, despite everything. And I thought, that's who I want to know. The person who can find your bow even when everything's hard. The person who keeps going. The person who survives. She closed her eyes. More tears came. I'm a mess, Julian. You're human. There's a difference. What if tomorrow's a disaster? Then it's a disaster, but you'll survive it, like you've survived everything else. How do you have so much faith in me? Because I see you, really see you. Not the version Garrett tried to create, not the version you think you should be. Just you. And you're magnificent. She laughed weakly. That's a strong word. It's the right word. They talked until the sky started to lighten, until her panic faded, until her breathing evened out. Thank you, she said finally. For what? For not letting me spiral alone. Always. Now go try to sleep. Big day tomorrow. Big day tomorrow. She hung up, climbed back into bed, stared at the ceiling. Sleep didn't come. But the panic was gone. At 6 in the morning, she got up, made coffee, sat at her kitchen table. The invitation was still on the fridge, mocking her. She took it down, looked at it one last time. No hard feelings, she laughed, actually laughed. Garrett had no idea what feelings she had. None. because he'd never bothered to ask. Diane arrived at 8, carrying coffee and pastries in an overnight bag. Okay, she said, we're doing this. Full glam. Hair, makeup, nails, everything. Di, that's too much. Nothing is too much for today. Today you show him what he lost. Today you walk in like a queen. I feel more like a court jester. Then fake it till you make it. By the time we're done, you'll believe it. They spent the morning transforming, hair styled, makeup perfect, nails painted a deep red. When Diane was done, Becca looked in the mirror. She almost didn't recognize herself. She looked powerful, confident, beautiful. Holy hell, Diane breathed. You look incredible. I look like someone else. You look like yourself. The yourself you forgot existed. The twins came home from their sleepover with Diane's kids. They stopped in the doorway. Mom, Emma said, you look like a princess. You look pretty, Evan agreed shyly. Thank you, babies. Now go get ready. We have a wedding to attend. They scrambled to their rooms. Diane helped Becca into the emerald dress, zipped it up. Becca turned, looked at herself. The woman in the mirror was unrecognizable and completely familiar all at once. You ready? Diane asked. No, but I'm doing it anyway. That's my girl. Julian arrived at 1 o'clock, in a suit, looking like he belonged on a magazine cover. He stopped when he saw Becca, just stared. What? She asked nervously. Is it too much? You're stunning. Absolutely stunning. The twins came out, Emma in a pale blue dress, Evan in a little suit. Julian knelt down. You two look amazing. You look good too, Emma said. Thanks, Julian, Evan added. They piled into the SUV, drove to the private airport. The twins had never been to an airport like this, small, exclusive, where the wealthy kept their planes. Whoa, Evan breathed. A plane, a real plane, Emma squealed. Julian's pilot met them. Friendly, professional. The jet was smaller than Becca expected, but luxurious. Leather seats, polished wood. The twins explored every inch, pressed every button, asked a million questions. Becca sat by the window, watched the ground fall away as they took off. You okay? Julian asked quietly. Ask me after. Fair enough. During the flight, Diane made them all laugh with stories, kept the mood light. But Becca's stomach was in knots. In 2 hours, she would walk into Garrett's wedding. In 2 hours, everything would change. Marcus Caldwell texted Julian, confirmed he was at the venue, had the evidence ready, would approach Tessa's father during the reception. It was all set, no turning back now. The jet landed, the SUVs were waiting, black, sleek, expensive. The twins were giddy. This is the coolest thing ever, Emma said. Wait till Dad sees us, Evan added. Becca's heart clenched. This wasn't about revenge. Not really. It was about truth, about justice, about protecting Tessa from the same fate. I could hate her. I did for years. But she's just another woman he's using. The pattern doesn't end until someone breaks it. They drove to the venue, an estate outside the city, rolling lawns, white tents, flowers everywhere, the kind of wedding Garrett always said they couldn't afford. Here we go, Diane said. Here we go, Becca echoed. The SUVs pulled up to the entrance. Other guests were arriving, in irregular cars. They all turned, stared. The doors opened. Julian stepped out first. Then he helped Becca. She stood. Emerald dress catching the afternoon light. Hair perfect. Head high. Diane followed. Then the twins. Emma waved at someone she recognized. Evan stood close to Becca. Whispers spread like wildfire. Is that Rebecca Hartwell? Who's the man with her? Is that Julian Ashford? The Julian Ashford? Did she just arrive in a private jet? Becca walked forward, one foot in front of the other, Julian's hand light on her back, steadying her. The wedding planner rushed over, flustered, panicked. I'm sorry, there seems to be some confusion. Are you on the guest list? Becca smiled, cool, calm. Rebecca Hartwell, +4. The planner checked her tablet, rechecked. Garrett only listed Rebecca, not guest, not children. There's no space at the assigned table. I'm not sure where. Julian spoke for the first time. His voice was quiet, but it carried authority. I'm sure we can work something out. The planner's eyes went wide. She recognized him. Of course she did. Yes, of course. Let me just... I'll figure something out. Please, this way. They followed her into chaos. The reception area was stunning. White flowers everywhere, crystal chandeliers hanging from tent ceilings, tables set with gold-rimmed china. Everything was perfect. Expensive. Exactly what Garrett always wanted. Guests turned to stare as they entered. The whispers grew louder. Patricia Sullivan saw them from across the lawn. She went pale. Then she smiled. Actually smiled. She walked over. Slowly. Deliberately. Rebecca, you look beautiful. Becca blinked. Thank you, Patricia. Patricia looked at the twins. Hello, Evan. Emma, you both look wonderful. Hi, Grandma, they said quietly. Then Patricia looked at Julian, extended her hand. You must be Julian Ashford. I've heard a great deal about you. Julian shook her hand. All good things, I hope. Patricia's smile was sad. Better than he deserves to hear. She looked back at Becca. I'm glad you came. She walked away before Becca could respond. Diane leaned in. Did Garrett's mother just compliment you? I think she did. The world has officially turned upside down. They found their seats. The planner had scrambled. Put them at a table near the back. Out of the way. But everyone could still see them. Becca sat, breathed, looked around. Lydia Monroe sat a few tables over. She caught Becca's eye, nodded, smiled. Another ally. Another person who knew the truth. The ceremony was about to begin. Guests filed to their seats. Garrett appeared, walking toward the altar. Tuxedo, tanned, hair perfectly styled. He looked confident, happy, like a man who had everything. He glanced toward the back, saw them. His face went through several emotions in rapid succession. Shock, confusion, anger, calculation. His eyes locked on Julian. Recognition dawned. Becca watched him process it, watched him realize. She smiled, just slightly. Garrett's jaw clenched. He looked away, continued to the altar, but his composure was cracked. Becca could see it. Music started, the bridal march. Everyone stood. Tessa appeared, beautiful, young. Her dress probably cost more than Becca's car. She walked down the aisle, smiling, radiant. Becca felt a pang of something. Not jealousy, pity. This poor girl had no idea what she was marrying. The ceremony proceeded. Traditional, boring. The officiant droned on about love and commitment and forever. Becca watched Garrett's face. He kept glancing back, at her, at Julian, at the twins. He was distracted, uncomfortable. Good. Vows were exchanged. Garrett's voice shook slightly. He stumbled over the words. Do you, Garrett Michael Sullivan, take this woman? I do, Garrett interrupted, too quickly, too eager to be done. Tessa looked at him, concerned. The officiant continued. Do you, Tessa Marie Brightwell? I do, Tessa said softly. I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. They kissed, briefly, awkwardly. The guests applauded. Becca clapped politely. The twins fidgeted beside her. It's almost over, she whispered to them. Can we go home soon? Evan asked. Soon, baby. Soon. The ceremony ended. Guests moved to the reception area. Cocktail hour. Music, laughter, champagne flowing. Becca stood with Julian. Diane hovered nearby. The twins got sparkling cider and cookies. People approached. Curious. Bold. Rebecca? Is that you? Oh my God, you look amazing. Thank you. And who is this handsome man? This is Julian. Julian, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. Susan. We met at the Christmas party 5 years ago. Right. Susan? Susan's eyes were hungry, taking in every detail. The dress, the jewelry. Julian's obvious wealth? So how do you two know each other? Julian answered smoothly. We met at a coffee shop. She spilled coffee on my laptop. Susan laughed. Too loud. How charming. It was, Julian agreed. Best day of my life. He said it like he meant it, because he did. Susan made excuses, scurried away, probably to tell everyone what she'd learned. That happened 6 more times. Different people, same questions, same hungry eyes. Becca handled it, smiled, made small talk, played the part. But inside, she was counting minutes. Garrett approached during cocktail hour, alone. Tessa was taking photos with her family. Becca, you came. His eyes flicked to Julian. To the children. I didn't know you were bringing guests. You said the children should see both parents moving forward. This is their future. I wanted them to see it. Garrett's jaw clenched. And who is this? Julian extended his hand. Julian Ashford. Pleasure to meet you. Garrett recognized the name. Everyone did. His face went through several emotions. How long? He started. 18 months, Becca said calmly. The children met him last week. Garrett looked like he'd been slapped. I see. His voice was tight. And you thought bringing him to my wedding was appropriate? You invited me. You said no hard feelings. I took you at your word. Garrett opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. We need to talk about the custody arrangement, about child support, about... Not here, Becca said firmly. Not today. Today is your wedding day. Enjoy it. She walked away, left him standing there. Julian followed, the twins trailing behind. That was amazing, Diane whispered. You just shut him down. I'm shaking, Becca admitted. You didn't show it. That's what matters. They found their table, sat down, waited for dinner to be served. Marcus Caldwell approached, mid-40s, kind eyes, nervous demeanor. Mrs. Hartwell, it's good to see you. Marcus, thank you for coming. He shook Julian's hand. Mr. Ashford, thank you for everything. Just Julian, and thank you for your courage. What you're doing, it isn't easy. Marcus looked around, made sure no one was listening. Tessa's father is here. Richard Brightwell. I'll approach him after dinner. Show him everything. Let him make his own decision. Be careful, Becca said. Garrett's suspicious. Patricia warned me. I will be. But this needs to happen. He needs to know what he's investing in, what his daughter is marrying. Marcus left, melted back into the crowd. Becca watched Garrett across the room. He was talking to Tessa, gesturing toward their table. Tessa looked confused, concerned. She thinks I'm here to cause trouble, Becca said quietly. Aren't you? Diane asked. No, I'm here to tell the truth. There's a difference. Dinner was served. Fancy, multi-course. The kind of meal that cost hundreds of dollars per person. Becca picked at her food. Her stomach was too tight to eat. The twins ate everything. Kids were resilient that way. Speeches began. Tessa's father stood first. Richard Brightwell, successful, powerful. He talked about his daughter, about how proud he was, about how he welcomed Garrett into the family, about how he looked forward to their business partnership. Becca watched Garrett relax slightly, smile, nod. He thought he'd won. Garrett's mother stood next. Patricia looked tired. She gave a short speech, perfunctory, nothing warm. When families join, we hope for the best, she said. We hope for honesty, for integrity, for truth. She looked directly at Becca as she said it. The message was clear. Then came the best man, one of Garrett's work friends. He told jokes, made everyone laugh, talked about Garrett like he was the greatest guy in the world. Becca wanted to vomit. Finally, the speeches ended. Music started. Dancing began. Garrett and Tessa took the floor. Their first dance. They moved stiffly, awkwardly, like two people who didn't quite fit together. Becca watched, felt nothing. The grief was gone, the anger was gone. Just peace. She turned to Julian. Dance with me? Always. They stood, walked to the dance floor. Other couples joined, the space filled. Julian pulled her close. They swayed to some generic wedding song. Are you glad you came? He asked. Yes, but not for the reason I thought. Why then? Because I needed to see that he's just a man, not the monster I made him in my head, not the god I tried to please, just a man making bad choices. Julian smiled. You're incredible. You know that? I'm working on believing it. Work faster. She laughed, actually laughed. Across the dance floor, Tessa was watching them, her face unreadable. Then their eyes met, woman to woman. Recognition passed between them. They both knew what Garrett was, but only one of them could still escape. Becca looked away first. Marcus made his move 20 minutes later. Becca saw him approach Richard Brightwell, saw him gesture to a quiet corner, saw Richard follow. They disappeared. Into a side room. Becca's heart pounded. This was it. Julian squeezed her hand. It's going to be okay. 30 minutes passed. 45. Becca danced with Evan, then Emma, then Diane. Julian kept the twins entertained, told them stories, made them laugh. He was good with them, natural, like he'd been doing it for years. Finally, Richard emerged. His face was stone. He went directly to Tessa, pulled her aside. Garrett watched, confused, then worried. They talked. Richard showed Tessa something on his phone. Her face went pale. Becca couldn't hear what they were saying, but she could see the devastation. Tessa looked at Garrett, then at her father, then back at Garrett. She shook her head, said something sharp, turned away. Garrett tried to follow. Richard blocked him. The two men talked. Richard's body language was rigid, angry. Garrett's face went from confused to panicked. 10 minutes later, Richard made an announcement. "Excuse me, everyone. I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's been a family emergency. We need to leave. The reception will continue, but the bride and her family must go." Gasps, confused murmurs. Tessa walked past Garrett without looking at him. Her face was blank. Shock, betrayal, devastation. Garrett tried to follow. Richard blocked him again, whispered something. Garrett went white. The Brightwell family left, en masse, quickly. The reception continued, but the energy was gone. Awkward, confused. Guests whispered, speculated. What happened? Did they have a fight? Is the marriage already over? Garrett stood alone, in the middle of his reception, surrounded by people and utterly isolated. Patricia went to him. He shook her off. Becca gathered the twins. Time to leave. They'd been perfect, ready to go home. Diane grabbed their things. As they walked toward the exit, Garrett intercepted them. "What did you do?" he hissed. Becca stopped, looked at him, really looked at him. "I told the truth. That's all. You ruined my wedding. No, you ruined your wedding. You've been lying to everyone, to me, to Tessa, to yourself. I just stopped covering for you." He looked at Julian. "You think he's better than me?" Julian spoke calmly. "I think she deserves someone who sees her value, whether that's me or anyone else." Garrett's face crumbled. "I made a mistake. With you, I see that now." Becca felt something shift. Layer 7, transformation complete. "I know, but that's your burden to carry. Not mine. Not anymore." "But Becca, we're done, Garrett. We've been done for 4 years. I'm just finally accepting it." She walked away. Julian and the twins beside her, Diane trailing. They didn't look back. The twins chattered all the way to the airport. About the plane, about the cake they'd eaten, about how pretty Tessa looked before she left crying. Kids saw everything. Becca was quiet, processing. "You okay?" Julian asked softly. "I am. I really am." On the plane, Emma fell asleep on Julian's shoulder. Evan held Becca's hand. "Mom," Evan said quietly. "Yeah, baby? Did we do something bad? To Dad?" "No. We told the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts, but it's still better than a lie. Is Dad going to be mad at us?" "Maybe, for a while, but that's not your fault. That's his choice." Evan nodded, seemed satisfied. "I love you, Mom. I love you too, Ev." Back at home, Becca tucked the twins into bed. They fell asleep immediately, exhausted. Diane gave her a long hug. "I'm so proud of you," she whispered. "Thank you for everything, for being there, always. Now get some rest. You earned it." Diane left. Julian stayed. They sat on the couch, in her small apartment, in the quiet. "How do you feel?" he asked. "Tired, relieved, free." "Free is good. Free is everything." She turned to face him. "Thank you for believing in me, for waiting, for being patient when I was terrified. You don't have to thank me for that." "Yes, I do, because you could have walked away. Any time in the past 18 months, you could have decided I was too complicated, too broken, too much work. But you stayed. You're worth staying for." She kissed him, slow, deep, full of gratitude and love and hope. "Stay tonight?" she asked. "I was hoping you'd ask." They lay in bed, not sleeping, just being. "What happens now?" Becca asked. "Whatever you want. We take it one day at a time. No pressure, no expectations, just us." "I like the sound of that. Me too." She fell asleep in his arms. For the first time in years, she didn't have nightmares. She dreamed of open doors, of endless possibilities, of a future that belonged to her. The next morning, her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. Hello? Mrs. Hartwell? This is Tessa Brightwell. Or I guess just Tessa now. Becca sat up. Oh, hi. I'm sorry to bother you. I got your number from Garrett's phone. I hope that's okay. It's fine. Are you okay? Tessa laughed bitterly. Not even a little bit. But I wanted to call to say thank you. Thank you for telling the truth. My father showed me everything, the financial fraud, the hidden assets, the lies, all of it. I had no idea. I'm sorry you had to find out like that. At your wedding. Better than finding out 5 years from now, after I'd wasted more of my life, after we had kids. She paused. You tried to warn me, didn't you? 4 years ago, when Garrett and I started seeing each other. I did. You didn't want to hear it. I know. I thought you were just bitter. Jealous. I'm sorry. You don't need to apologize to me. Yes, I do. I was horrible to you. I helped destroy your marriage. I knew he was married. I didn't care. I thought I was special. That he loved me in a way he didn't love you. And now you know the truth? Now I know the truth. He doesn't love anyone. Not really. He just uses people. And when they stop being useful, he moves on. I'm sorry, Tessa. I really am. Me too. Tessa's voice broke. I have to go. My father's lawyers are handling the annulment. But I wanted you to know you saved me from making the same mistakes you did. Thank you. She hung up. Becca sat there, phone in hand, staring at nothing. Julian came out of the bedroom. Everything okay? That was Tessa. She called to say thank you for ruining her wedding, for saving her from her marriage. Julian sat beside her. How do you feel about that? Good. Shutad, relieved. All of it. That sounds about right. She leaned against him, breathed. 3 months later, everything had changed and nothing had changed. The divorce settlement came through. Fair, equitable, more than fair, actually. Garrett's lawyers fought, but the evidence was overwhelming. Becca got everything she should have gotten 4 years ago. The house was sold, assets divided properly, child support increased. Custody renegotiated to 50-50. Jennifer called with the news. You did it, you won. But Becca didn't feel like she'd won anything. She felt free. That was better than winning. She quit her second job, kept the first one, but now she had breathing room, space, time with her kids. The twins adjusted. They saw Garrett on a regular schedule now. He was different, quieter, humbler, or maybe just broken. Becca didn't know, didn't care to find out. Julian was around more. He'd met her friends, her family, everyone who mattered. The twins loved him, called him Julian, never Dad. But he was part of their family now. Becca was looking at apartments, bigger ones, in better neighborhoods. She could afford it now. Julian offered to help. She declined. This was hers to do. But she appreciated the offer. One Saturday morning, she was making breakfast. The twins were watching TV. Julian was reading the paper. Domestic, normal, perfect. Mom, Emma called. Can Julian teach me to draw on the computer? He said he knows how. If he has time, sure. I have time, Julian said. Evan looked up from his tablet. Can we go to the Science Museum next weekend? They have a new exhibit on patterns. Absolutely, Julian said. We'll make a day of it. Becca watched them. Her kids, her partner, her life. It wasn't perfect, but it was hers. And that was everything. 3 months after the wedding, an envelope arrived. Cream. Expensive. Becca's stomach dropped when she saw it. But when she opened it, it wasn't an invitation. It was a settlement offer. Full disclosure of assets. Fair division. Everything she'd asked for and more. And a handwritten note from Garrett. You were right, I'm sorry. I don't expect forgiveness. But I wanted you to know, I see it now. What I did, who I was, who I still am, probably, but I'm trying to be better. For the kids, if not for anyone else. Thank you for not giving up on them. Even when I gave up on everything. Garrett. Becca read it twice, then set it aside. Julian was making breakfast. The twins were arguing over the bathroom. She looked around her new apartment, bigger, brighter, windows that let in actual sunlight. She'd signed the lease last week, moved in yesterday. The boxes were still everywhere, but it was hers. all hers. You okay? Julian asked. He was flipping pancakes. Badly. They were lopsided. Yes, just processing. What's the letter? Settlement offer from Garrett and an apology. An apology? Julian raised his eyebrows. That's unexpected. It is. How do you feel about it? She thought about it, really thought about it. I don't need his apology, but I'm glad he's trying to be better. For the kids, that matters. You're generous. I'm free. There's a difference, Bursmo. The twins emerged, still bickering about who got the bathroom first. Can we have pancakes? Emma asked. That's what I'm making, Julian said. They're kind of ugly, Evan observed. Evan, Becca scolded, but Julian laughed. You're right, they're terrible, but they taste good. That's what matters. They sat down, the four of them, at her small kitchen table that still wobbled. She'd get a new one eventually, but not yet. This one had history. Memories. After breakfast, Diane called. How's the new place? Good, still unpacking. But good, need help? Always. Diane arrived an hour later, with coffee and donuts and her kids in tow, the apartment filled with noise. Kids running, adults unpacking, music playing, chaos, beautiful chaos. Becca stood in the middle of it all, watching. This was what peace felt like. The doorbell rang. Julian answered it. Marcus Caldwell stood there, holding a bottle of wine. I hope this is okay. I wanted to stop by, congratulate you on the new place. Come in, Becca said. You're always welcome. Marcus came in, looked around, smiled. You did it. You really did it. We did it. You were part of this too. I just provided evidence. You did the hard part. You survived. They talked for a while about Garrett's business, about the fallout, about rebuilding. Garrett stepped down, Marcus said. The board forced him out. The business is recovering, slowly, but we'll make it. I'm glad, Becca said, and she meant it. Marcus left after an hour, promising to stay in touch. Patricia called that evening, short, awkward, but genuine. Rebecca, I wanted to thank you for what you did for Garrett. I know it doesn't seem like it helped him, but it did. He's finally facing consequences, finally growing up. He's your son. You don't have to thank me for that. Yes, I do. You could have destroyed him, sent him to prison. You had every right, but you chose mercy. That takes strength. Becca didn't know what to say. I hope you're happy, Patricia continued. You deserve to be happy. I'm working on it. Good. That's good. Patricia hung up. Becca stared at her phone, amazed. The world had turned upside down. That night, after the twins were asleep, Becca and Julian sat on her new balcony. Small, but it overlooked a park. Trees, grass, open space. She'd never had a balcony before. Tell me something, she said. Anything. Do you ever regret it, getting involved with me? With all my chaos? Never. Not for a second. Even when I was pushing you away? Especially then. Because that's when you needed someone the most. She leaned against him, breathed in his scent, soap and coffee and home. I love you, she said. First time she'd said it out loud. First time she'd admitted it to herself. I love you too. He'd said it before, many times, but hearing it now felt different. Real, solid, true. They sat there, in the quiet, watching the sun set. What do you want, he asked. For the future, for us. Honestly, this, just this. You, the kids. Peace. Normal, boring days where nothing dramatic happens. That sounds perfect. It does, doesn't it? They went inside, to bed, to sleep. But before she fell asleep, Becca checked her phone one more time. A text from Tessa, just wanted you to know. I'm okay. Better than okay, actually. I'm going back to school. Art history. Something I always wanted to do but never had time for. Thank you for showing me I could start over. That it's never too late, Becca smiled. Type back. You're going to do amazing things. I believe in you. She set her phone down, closed her eyes, and realized something. She'd spent 4 years waiting for Garrett to see her value. But the truth was, his opinion never mattered. The only opinion that mattered was her own. And she finally saw herself clearly. Not as someone's ex-wife, not as someone's mother, not as someone's girlfriend, just as herself. Rebecca Hartwell, 38 years old, survivor, fighter, mother, partner, friend, imperfect, flawed, scared sometimes. But enough, always enough, she fell asleep smiling and dreamed of open roads. Epilogue. 1 year later, Becca stood in her kitchen, not the cramped one from her old apartment, a real kitchen, in a real house. She'd bought it 6 months ago, with her settlement money. Her money, earned, deserved. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a backyard where the twins could play. It wasn't huge, it wasn't fancy, but it was hers. The twins were in the backyard, playing with the new puppy, a golden retriever named Sunshine. Emma's choice. Julian was at the stove, actually cooking. He'd gotten better. The pancakes were no longer lopsided. Diane was setting the table. For a family dinner. Everyone coming, all the people who mattered. "Mom, when's dinner?" Emma called from outside. 20 minutes, Becca called back. She looked around. At her life, at her people, at her home. They say the best revenge is living well. But that wasn't quite right. The best revenge wasn't revenge at all. It was realizing you didn't need it. It was building a life so full, so complete, so genuinely happy that the past couldn't touch it. It was understanding that the person who hurt you no longer had power, because you took it back. Garrett had texted last week, asking if the kids could come to his birthday party. He was turning 41, wanted to celebrate with them. Becca said yes. Of course, they were his kids too. She didn't hate him anymore, didn't love him, didn't think about him much at all. He was just someone she used to know, someone who helped teach her one of life's most important lessons. Your worth was never defined by those who couldn't see it. The doorbell rang. "I'll get it," Julian said. It was Patricia and Lydia and Marcus and Jennifer, her lawyer who'd become a friend, her tribe, her people. They filled the house with laughter and stories and warmth. Dinner was chaotic, kids talking over each other, adults telling jokes, wine flowing, food disappearing. Perfect, messy, real. After dinner, Emma climbed into Becca's lap. Too big for lap sitting, but Becca didn't care. "Mom," Emma said. "Yeah, baby? Are you happy?" Becca looked around, at Julian doing dishes, at Evan showing Marcus his math project, at Diane laughing with Jennifer, at her full, loud, chaotic house. "Yes, baby, I really am. Good. Me too." That night, after everyone left, after the kids were asleep, Becca found herself in the bathroom. Same position as a year ago, sitting on the floor, back against the tub. But this time, she wasn't panicking. She was crying. But they were good tears, healing tears. Julian found her there, sat down beside her, didn't ask, just sat. "I made it," she finally said. "You did. I survived. You did more than survive. You thrived." She leaned her head on his shoulder, breathed. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" "For seeing me, when I couldn't see myself, always." They sat there, on the bathroom floor, in their imperfect house with their imperfect lives. And Becca realized something. This was it. This was everything she'd been searching for. Not revenge, not vindication, not even justice. Just peace, just love, just freedom, just herself. And that was always enough. So that's my story. The day I stopped being invisible. The day I took my power back. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever felt small or worthless or forgotten, I want you to know something. You're not alone, and you're stronger than you think. If you enjoyed this journey with me, please hit that like button. It helps more people find these stories. People who need to hear them. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever had a moment where you stood up for yourself? Where you finally said enough? I read every single comment, and I love hearing your stories. And if you want more stories about survival, strength, and second chances, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I share new stories every week. Real struggles, real transformations, real hope. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. That friend who's going through a divorce. That sister who's rebuilding her life. That woman who forgot she's powerful. Your support means everything. Every like, every comment, every share helps build this community of survivors. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And remember, your worth was never defined by those who couldn't see it. Until next time, keep fighting, keep surviving, keep thriving. You've got this.